Hello S2, and this week we are going to look at how the Vikings moved around. Now, what we are learning today we're going to be looking at how the Vikings moved around. So by the end of the lesson, your first aim is you should be able to describe how the Vikings got from place to place. And your second aim is to describe some of the key features of a Viking longship. So tell us a bit about some of the key parts of a Viking longship. And you'll see in the background there is your typical Viking longship. Now, task one is your warm activity. So again, if you want to pause the PowerPoint once I've just explained this short task here, and you can answer this on your sheet, and you'll access the sheet via the assignments tab. So write down a country in the world you have never visited but would love to go to. Think about how you would get there, how long it would take you to get there, and what you would take with you. So you pause. Okay, now, from your answers from the warm activity there, you might have said probably the most common way to get to the places that you want to visit would be by plane, and most countries in the world you can get to by plane in less than a day, sometimes slightly longer depending on where you're going with a stop in between. However, in Viking times, to move around there was no such thing as planes to carry people, it was ships. So this picture here illustrates a Viking longship being built and put together. Now you'll see the shape of the ship there. Obviously that is designed to ensure that the ship stays afloat, but also to ensure that they can gain maximum speed and fit as many men in as possible. You'll see on the right hand side there, that's just a cartoon illustration of a Viking longship, and we'll be looking at that in more detail as well. Now, task 2 for today is a video task. So what I would like you to do is to watch the following video on Viking longships, and afterwards what I'd like you to do is to write down 2 facts after the video about Viking longships. So while the video's on, just listen and pay attention to it, and then afterwards you're looking to write down 2 facts. So this should tell you a bit more about Viking longships, and ultimately this should help you to achieve your first aim today, which is to describe how the Vikings moved around. They also moves around using their ships. So that is the video on the right hand side that you're looking for, and you can looking to use that link there at the bottom. So if you pause the PowerPoint and complete this task. The task again can be completed if you access the Word document via the assignments tab. Okay, so you should now have some facts about Viking longships from the video. This is just showing you again a cartoon illustration of a Viking longship, and you'd see the different parts of it there. Some of the parts such as the sail, ropes, the figurehead. The figurehead at the front was very important to the Vikings. Ultimately they felt it scared away any evil spirits from the land that they were going to. You've got the oars there obviously to move the ship, and the steering oar to decide what way you're going as well. So that's just some parts of the ship there. And this is another image of Viking longships. You'll see in the background there mountains. Again, you'll notice them in terms of Norway, Sweden, Denmark being quite mountainous regions. So this could be Vikings leaving their homeland. They sailed, you'll see their shields on the side of the boat. They sailed like that, ultimately with their shields for protection. So in case they were attacked by arrows, that had their shields there, which they could easily access and quickly defend themselves as well. Notice again with this picture here, you've got the figurehead at the front, very prominent, the dragon head there. You've got the sail, you've got the ropes, and you can see how many men are on board there sailing the ship as well. Okay, now task 3 is a worksheet on longships. So again, you'll be able to access this sheet under files. It will be a PDF file, and you'll be able to get information from that there. Again, the questions you're looking to answer them on the Word document, which is in the assignment tabs. So this is just a short sheet which gives you more information about Viking longships. So all you're looking to do is just to read over this sheet where it says Viking longships on the left hand side, read over that information, and on the right hand side you've got 9 questions to answer. So you're just looking to answer those 9 questions in as much detail as possible. All the questions enough are started off for you, but in as much detail as possible you're looking to answer those questions. So again, if you want to pause the PowerPoint here, and you can complete this task. Okay, task number 4 to do with the Viking longships. So by now we should be able to, as I already mentioned, describe how the Vikings moved from place to place. So we know that they moved from place to place via their longships. You should now as well be able to describe some of the key features of a longship. So for example, Longships would have a figurehead at the front as a key feature. They would have a sail, they would have ropes, they would have oars. Okay, so they're all key features of longships. Now, video 4, this is a picture here of historian Neil Oliver. So this is a 10-minute clip where he is speaking more about Viking longships. So the link is the first bullet point there. So what you're going to do is you're going to try and note down more information about the ships in your jotter, or if you're doing this in a Word document, on the Word document. And it's going to help you with our next task as well. So again, you'll want to pause the PowerPoint here, put that YouTube clip on for 10 minutes and take down some notes from Neil Oliver about Viking longships. Okay, so our last task for today, task number 5, is now for you to create your own longship. So you're going to make your own Viking longship using all the information that you have learned. Bring this together. Now, if possible, try to use materials at home to make your own Viking longship, and you can upload a picture of this to Microsoft Teams. Use things like spare cardboard boxes, even empty cereal boxes, and any materials that you can find lying about that you are allowed to use to make your own Viking longship. Now, if you don't have access to certain materials to do this, then you can try and draw one in your jotter. Make sure you give your longship a name. All Viking longships had a name, so you can give your longship a name. Think about the key features that you need to include on your longship. Think about the shape of it to start with as well. And we look forward to seeing some of your own longships. This here just gives you an idea of some of the parts of a longship. This is one that was designed, so there's a bit more information here on the different parts that you can include and what to be thinking about as well, and why each part would be useful. And this is just some images here of other pros that have designed longships in the past, so you'll see how they've used cardboard to create their own longships. Okay, so that is our Viking longship lesson. So our aims, as I mentioned, by the end of the lesson you should be able to describe how the Vikings got from place to place. Remember, getting from place to place was via their longships. And describe some of the key features of a Viking longship. See how many key features you can just list yourself if you think about some of the key features of a Viking longship.